today, first and foremost, we are in nature, grounding ourselves, connecting ourselves with our ancestors this way. I want to say that I broke my camera, so if the quality isn't as good, I apologize. Hopefully I can get it fixed soon, but y'all, I broke my camera and then I tried to fix it myself and then I broke it some more, and now like every camera place that I call told me that they cannot fix my camera, and I'm really sad about it because I just bought it like a couple months ago. Anyway, that's besides the point. So this video is talking about how to connect with your ancestors, and we're just gonna do that. So first and foremost, one thing to note is that your ancestors literally live within you. So if you do not know who you are, you can't really connect with your ancestors. So it's so important to make sure that you are doing the back work. So that goes for your shadow work. You know, are you working through a lot of blockages, a lot of traumas that you've experienced throughout your life? Are you actually sitting with yourself and getting to know yourself, understanding yourself, and working on who you are now and who you want to become? It's so important to work on yourself and to connect yourself with yourself in order to connect yourself with your ancestors. Like I said, your ancestors live through you. So if you don't know who you are, how do you know, how can you know what lives through you? So get to know yourself is one of the most important things. And then also too, being open to receive messages, being open to hear, and also just to like see whatever signs your ancestors and your spirit team are trying to tell you. It's so important to be open to that, because your ancestors can be trying to communicate with you right now, but if you are not open to receive the messages that they are trying to give you, then you know you're not going to really see it. So y'all, this sun is like really blinding me. Hopefully I don't look too crazy with like my eyes squinting, but this like sun really came out. It was gone all day today, and now that I recorded my video, it wants to come out. But I appreciate you, sun. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. But yeah, be open to receive. You know, having fear is a low vibration. So you don't want to approach spirituality or approach speaking with your ancestors with any fear in your heart. You want to know and always be confident that your ancestors have your best interest at heart, you know. And then also too, it's so important to know that you are powerful within yourself as well, and you have the power to reject and revoke any low vibrational, any negative energy or entities. So it's so important that when you are connecting with your ancestors, if you do not know them by name, make sure that you say, my divinely elevated ancestors, you know, my ancestors that love me unconditionally. You make sure that you are specifically talking to a specific group of ancestors or a specific person that is your ancestor, because just like those ancestors that you are trying to reach can hear you, so can so many other spirits in the spirit realm, and you want to ensure that you are reaching the correct people, the correct spirits. So make sure that you are saying, my divinely elevated, my ancestors that love me unconditionally. Make sure you are so sure and so like, you know, adamant on, this is who I'm trying to connect to. All right, I'm trying to tell y'all, don't be fucking around with something that you can't handle. Okay. And then also, grounding yourself is also a really great way to connect yourself with your ancestors and with your spirit team. I love to sit outside in nature, take my shoes off. Like right now, my shoes are off, my feet is in the grass. You know, I am connecting with nature. Go hug a tree, you know, look at the sky, connect with the sun gaze, you know, listen to the wind, come outside and meditate and really ground yourself. That is one of the quickest ways to connect with your ancestors. There are so many people that say that they connect with their ancestors better out in nature. Me personally, I connect better at my altar. But you know, like I said, there's so many different ways that you can connect with your ancestors. So play around with different things and figure out what works for you and what is best for you. So going off of, you know, nature, listen to different binary beats, listen to different frequencies. One thing that I like to do is I like to cut on like African tribal beats, and I will like listen to it and I will connect with my ancestors. Sometimes I like to just kind of like dance and like allow my body to kind of flow, and really like honor my ancestors that way, as a way to like, you know, just like dance for them and celebrate them. You can also create an altar. When you create an altar, one thing that I want to say is be so careful not to like scare anybody, because you should never have fear. Like I said, fear is a low vibration. But you want to be careful, you want to be cautious. So when you create your altar, like I said, do not go out calling on, hey, any spirit that can hear me. No, make sure that you are speaking to divinely elevated ancestors. Make sure you are talking to your ancestors that love you unconditionally. So with that being said, when you build your altar, make sure that you have all of the elements. You want to have earth, air, fire, water, and make sure that you are doing it in a special way, a way that is special for you, or a way that is special for your ancestors. So for my water, I give my ancestors spring water, because spring water is one of the best waters that you can drink. Me personally, I don't know if I believe as much in alkaline water, but I do love spring water, so I give them spring water, and I have like this really beautiful cup that I present to them in. For my earth, you can get sand, you can get grass, you can get plants, you can even put fresh flowers on your altar to honor your ancestors, to show appreciation for them. For fire, get a candle. Air, you can just do incense. Kind of mix it up and make it however you see fit. You can also decorate your altar by putting up different pictures of your ancestors and your spirit team. You can do it that way. There's just so many different ways that you can connect with your ancestors. I'm not going to go too much into creating an altar because that's not what this video is specifically about, but definitely look into creating an altar. For me, that is one of the quickest ways that I was able to connect with my ancestors. And then let's see, what's something else. Also, make sure that you are always communicating with your ancestors. Now, I don't mean like every day of every second talk to your ancestors, but when you meet somebody, when you meet somebody initially, in order to build a relationship with that person, you have to call them, you have to send them text messages, you have to go out and see them, maybe you buy them gifts. It's the same thing with your ancestors. Don't just talk to your ancestors once a month and then just call on them whenever you need something. No, like, this is a very sacred relationship. It's a very sacred bond that you share together. So make sure that you are, speaking to your ancestors, showing them love, thanking them, showing them gratitude, buying them things, asking them what offerings they want. If you give your ancestors offerings, you want to give them things that they want, not offerings that you would want. It's not an offering for you, it's an offering for them. So one time I was getting a reading and I heard that my ancestors wanted flowers. So I keep a specific set of flowers on my altar all the time. If your ancestors, if your uncle used to like Hennessy, put Hennessy, pour Hennessy on the cup and say, whatever ancestors this is for, say this is an offering for you. I hope that this is pleasing to you. Speak to them, give them gifts, talk to them. When you call on your ancestors, you want them to help you. You want them to give you money, to give you abundance, to maybe send somebody in your life. It's the same thing. They also want things as well. So it's important to make sure that, the relationship between you is balanced and you're not just taking everything, but you're also taking and also giving. Let's see. And then also introduce yourself to your ancestors. Y'all, I introduced myself to one of my ancestors and I heard somebody else say this and I was like, well, why would I introduce myself to them? Like, they already know me, they walk through me, they're with me, they're always here with me. But I actually took the time out and I introduced myself to my auntie. And so beautiful. I sat there at my altar and I was telling her everything that I did, and I told her that I like to paint, that I like to make things, and I literally heard in my head, show them to me. So I went and I showed them, and as I was showing them certain things, they were like, well, leave it. And so I left it at my altar, and after I finished introducing myself, I sat there and I was like, and I opened myself up to receive any messages that you want to tell me, and I reject and I revoke any low vibrational energy, any energy or entities that mean me harm, different things like that. And I sat in meditation and my auntie was like, hello. I'm not gonna say her name for, I feel like names are very powerful, so I'm not gonna put her name out. But she's like, hello, my name is such and so forth, and I'm 32, I'll just throw a number out. And at first I was like, really, Naya? Like, you really just gonna sit here and try to answer yourself? And so I went to go pick my mom up one day, and I was like, Ma, like, how old was Auntie, you know, such and such when she passed away? And literally the same age that came in my head when she introduced herself to me was the same age that my mom told me. And I like started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. So I was so happy. So like, if you really just sit there and introduce yourself to your ancestors and open yourself up to receive the information, open yourself up to receive the message that they want to tell you, you will get so much success, y'all. Like, I'm telling you. So make sure that you are grounding yourself, give them gifts, talk to them, you know, establish a connection with them every day. And also too, like, if they are trying to speak to you and if you're constantly ignoring them, eventually they're like, you don't want to piss off your ancestors, you don't want to make them mad. Not saying that you should be a pushover and, you know, like, disregard what it is that you want to do and always do what they want to do. It's about having a healthy balance. So don't neglect your ancestors, don't make them mad, don't disrespect them. Always come at them with respect and with honor. Talk to them with the highest regard and the highest appreciation. You know, your ancestors are here to help you. One thing that I also too want to add in this video is that how people were when they were alive is the same way that they are when they pass away. So let's say, for instance, if you have like an evil uncle who one shit, okay, he was a mean person and he just like never wanted to help anybody, that's not somebody that you want to call on, you know what I mean? So you always want to make sure that you are calling on the happiest, nicest, most divine, most elevated ancestors. You don't want to call on anyone that is, you know, of low vibrational energy or that is going to mean you harm, because it's kind of counterproductive, you know what I mean? Unless you're trying to, you know, dabble in some fucked up shit. I mean, do what you do, but I wouldn't recommend it. But I'm trying to think, there's so many other things that I want to do, but I feel like this video is really long. I can't see my screen because, like I said, I broke it, so I'm filming on my phone. But I am going to probably do like a part 2, because there's so many different ways that you can connect with your ancestors. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, that you got something out of it. If you did, I would love to hear your comments down below. If you have certain ways that you like to connect with your ancestors, I would love to hear that as well. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out, y'all.